What's going on, guys? Wanted to film a follow-up to the issues we were having last night with the interference of the knobs and the tool arms on the flat Platen here. And I went ahead and went to the hardware, got some carriage bolts to try the solution that I mentioned briefly in the last video. It seemed to be kind of the best all-around choice to kind of maintain, the tool-less option and still have everything nice and convenient for swapping things in and out and still having adjustability where we need it. So had to redo quite a few things, more than I really anticipated, just because I guess I didn't really think it through all that much. But I did change the spacing of the Platen frame between the tool arm, as well as the wheels in the frame. And what that did was give me the clearance for these carriage bolt heads as I needed. And because these pivots and the bolts that hold the wheels on were different diameters, I unfortunately had to remachine my spacers or my bushings there. And then I ended up just using a machine bushing to space the wheel off of the Platen. And we still maintained our center line for tracking purposes. So as you can see, we still have the ability to pivot and adjust full range, 60 degrees in each direction. Get a rough zero there. And we do have our tool arm installed, and there's no clearance issues any longer. Now to remove it, rather, just loosen these up. The knobs are simply just on the other side, which is probably better because now all your adjustment knobs are on the same size or same side, so it's less to have to think about, I guess. But this comes right out just the same. Everything comes off as a unit. Nothing left behind to vibrate or rattle loose. And there are a couple of burrs here I need to take off, so they're kind of hanging up on me. But just line those right back up. And those shoulders keep it from spinning, and you can tighten it up right back where you need it. Now again, probably have to redo these brackets because I got the spacing just a little bit off from where I wanted it. So it's really not that big of a deal to use a straight edge either, I guess. Or even just to try to eyeball it, I suppose. But that's back in place. We're ready to put our belt back on. And get to grinding. So that problem's solved. It's good to have that out of the way, and we'll try to remember that and consider it for next time. Now the other thing I did, I did look for some 3/4 round bar just to kind of get started on these tool rests at the hardware. And I don't want to get into another rant about how they never have anything I need, but they seriously never have anything I need. And you're lucky if you can get up to 5/8 round bar at most places. 1/2 inch is usually the max. Just kind of surprises me that there's not any more of a demand for that kind of stuff at these big box stores. Now I am fortunate to live kind of in the steel mill belt and live next to some of the largest mills in the world, and plenty of steel distributors within 30-45 minutes of driving distance. But anymore, with my time being what it is, gas, and the prices for stuff, you're just as well off anymore just to order it online almost, except for maybe a couple of things. But with Amazon Prime, free shipping, it just about makes sense. You can get on eBay and find stuff. Sometimes I'll go to the local scrapyard where I got these tool arms, and save a little bit of money and pick out close to exactly what I need. But at any rate, we'll get the 3/4 stuff tomorrow, and I got our work rest done and start playing around with that. Now I did get some 3/4 inch threaded rod just to kind of start playing with it. They did have that. I'm sure all kinds of people, if they're not using 3/4 solid rounds, they're using all thread this big for something. But anyway, this is kind of the contraption I'm thinking of. similar or inspired by, you know, Chris Williams' Wilmot design, but a little bit different. And just to give you a quick overview, and you know, I am going to alter this. I'm actually going to shorten it up probably at least a couple inches for various reasons, which may become clear as I go through this. But you know, you have your main tool arm here. This will go on, you know, like this. You can either actually kind of in the way with this adjustable handle, but you know, you can put it on the bottom. If you kind of pretend that there's a pool table on this, you know, it'll sit perfectly 90 degrees like that, somewhere probably in the center. But just imagine that's on there, you know, then you can sit that in there like that. This will actually be centered up on there a little bit better. And then you got your table flat to the world. You know, if this is a 0 degrees, you got a perfect 90. Quick and easy setup, repeatable every time, which is what I'm going for here. And you know, you can raise and lower this as needed. You can even, you know, swap this around like this, put it on the top if you so desire. Get just a little bit more height. You know, something like that. Another option I was kind of playing with, you know, some people like using a round bar as kind of a tool rest. So if you imagine your table's here, you can just kind of flip that up like that. Stick this out the bottom, and again, this will be centered, you know, better than that. But then you kind of got a, well, let me use this razor. You kind of got you know, something to sharpen on, or to, you know, pivot your blade, do kind of that sharpening technique or grinding technique. And then because it's, you know, kind of raised there, you got plenty of clearance on this side, you know, to do the same thing. And if you need even more clearance, just lower your tool arm like that. And that's what's nice about having that fourth arm. You know, you can use the whole flat platen then, and you can angle that in and out as you need it. And that's what I'm planning on. Again, for the angling, I don't really want the table to angle because I want a repeatable setup. So vertically, your angle changes for sharpening, swedges, and whatever other applications, dovetailing, what have you, you can adjust with this, like so. And you get 60 degrees either way, which should be more than enough for anything you'd ever have to do. You know, if you need a certain angle, you can either have your blade up this way or down this way and get the angle you need between those ranges of adjustment. Now, horizontally is a different kind of animal. So to show you that real quickly, make sure no this is going to fall and break my toe. Rotate that like so. Now you may be wondering, you know, how do you get your angles, you know, for your horizontal grinding? Well, if you want your 90, you know, your repeatable setup, just turn your bar 90 like this, change your table out like that, and then you got 90, you know, every single time. And you can kind of rotate this to match the angle of your platen if it's not zeroed out. And, you know, plenty of convenience there. And for angling for swedges or, you know, dovetails or what have you, we'll go ahead and rotate this back to how it was originally. And then the idea is to use this long axis here, like so. This will actually probably be down like this. And this set of holes will actually be moved over. I'm going to cut that off, keeping that in mind. But then your table will pretty much, almost bottom out, just like this. And you can get your 90 like that too, use a level or an angle cube. Move this in and out as you need it. But if you want an angle all the way back to even 90, you would just rotate it and pivot it like this, and again move it in and out as you need it. And then this will be the same, with your small wheel. You also have for your contact wheel, and there may need to be some adjustment in and out, to kind of center things up. So you'll have a little bit of play, on your round bar, but also with your tool arms, you'll have some spacing options there. So should be able to get just about any setup you need, any angle. And I think this is really going to work out quite nicely. But again, still give you that option that I think is important, to always have a reliable reference to 90, and not have an angling table on your rod there. So that's kind of how I'm changing things up from the Wilmot design and other similar setups I've seen. And I think this is going to be really versatile. The only thing I really have to work out now is kind of the final lengths, what the optimum, minimum, max lengths are. Same for the tool arm. I want it long enough that it's not going to fall out, if I pull it out to where I need it on this end, but not too long that it's going to hit the motor or the over center cam assembly in the second slot. And it may be that maybe a secondary tool arm is needed, but I think I can kind of split the difference and have everything I need, hopefully with just one setup and one crossbar, and then just use different tables for other different options and things like that. So kind of liking how that's coming together. Again, I'm going to kind of work out the details a little bit more tomorrow. Looks like our videos hit about the 12.5-minute mark. I don't really want to go over 13. So we're coming along. We're figuring out problems, making solutions, and I'll have to play with this little tool rest system, as I think there's quite a bit you can do with it, probably more than I've even thought of yet. But I'll have a much clearer demonstration, hopefully by tomorrow, if not a couple of days from now, when I can get everything fabricated. So that's it, guys. I do appreciate the views, those of you who follow along and leave the feedback in the comments. And we'll have another video for you in probably a day or two. So thanks for watching.